Okay, well, I am here with my good friend, Matt Clarke.
Joshua?
I am Joshua Phillips with Churchill Mortgage. Matt Clarke, CEO, president,
Call me what you want.
whatever you want, guy who has to make all the hard decisions, and now author of the book. Let's pull it out here. Hope.
Yeah,
There's just something about a nice,
feels good.
feels good. Wow. Matt Clarke, that's amazing. Did you ever imagine yourself like 20 years ago that you were going to be like an author of a book?
No, 20 years ago, I wouldn't want to write to anybody and definitely not speak in front of anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've evolved a lot over the
Yeah.
last 20 years. And I've kind of seen that. We started working together in, gosh, about around 2000 maybe.
Yeah, it's been almost 23 years.
Wow. It's crazy. Crazy how time
Yeah.
flies. But I remember when you started, you were just, I don't know, taking out the trash. I mean, what exactly?
When I came in, I was a controller, an accountant, and had to learn a bit. I'd never been in the mortgage business,
Yeah.
but I could learn, I could work hard, and I could treat people well.
Yeah.
And I figure if I could do those three things, I'd be okay.
Yeah. Well, our boss or our founder,
Yeah. Our
Mike
boss.
Hardwick, the man,
Yeah.
he kind of took you under his wing. And I mean, what do you think he saw in you all those years ago?
I was a Red Sox fan.
Uh,
Yeah.
he's a Yankees fan,
Yeah,
right?
I know it. So we had that playful banner right up front, and we just had a connection. At least I felt that would allow us to work through tough things together because we just kind of hit off. We saw eye to eye on how business should be done, and I was just lucky that he saw something in me that maybe I didn't even see in myself. I remember early on you talked about what did I ever think I'd be in a book
Mm-hmm.
or speak in front of people. He didn't give me the choice. He'd be doing an all company meeting and call me up and hand me the mic.
Matt, why don't you say a few words?
Yep, that's exactly how it went. And I hated it. I would sweat. That's why I wore a suit jacket all the time because my back was full of sweat and I needed to cover it up. But over time, I just got comfortable just being me.
Yeah, being you. Yeah. Well, and I mean, Mike's been a mentor to both of us. I started working here in 1997, and left for a period of time.
Yeah, I
Went
remember
went
that.
went astray. We forget about those years, long, long time ago,
Yeah.
actually. But Mike,
Prodigal son.
yeah, Mike was so good to me and continued to be a mentor to me. But about every, I don't know, 4 to 6 months, he and I would have lunch, and just him mentoring me. And this guy Matt Clarke kept coming to those lunches, and he'd just kind of sit there and nod and take notes. So I mean, it seemed like that was a lot about how he mentored you. You just kind of shadowed him.
Yeah, he lunch was a big thing for us. We'd go to lunch a couple of times a week, which was great for my budget. And I liked where he would take me to lunch.
Yeah.
But we would talk and we would cover business and he would dig into my life and he would offer me coaching without me even realizing he was offering me coaching.
Mm.
And when he'd take me, I'd ride shotgun on a lot of meetings I had no business being in, I didn't even know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And in those meetings, I would study. I'm a guy that writes things down. You see me walk around with my notes. I don't understand people who don't.
Yeah.
But I would just take notes. I would listen. I would learn. I would look at how the interactions with people, how he would handle conflict
Yeah.
with people, some tough situations.
Mm.
I remember sitting there with him feeling disgustingly uncomfortable with the person across from us getting pretty animated and ugly. And Mike had a beautiful mix of firmness
But compassion.
and calm and compassion.
Yeah. 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 So you would in your head be a little bit at odds as how he was handling the situation.
Yeah, I'd want to get up and punch the guy in the face,
Yeah.
right? That's my Yankee roots. It's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
But Mike was just
Mm-hmm.
on the outside.
Infinitely patient.
On the inside, I'm sure spinning like the rest of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just knew how to master that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those writing of notes. Was that the nexus of so this book,
Yeah.
Hope in the Grind, which everybody should pick up like 10
Agree.
copies and give them to every friend they have out there. Early Christmas presents,
Easter.
Easter presents.
Yeah, it's available next week. So it's available now for Easter. So, it's a great gift.
So I'll just give my brief explanation. So you've been sending out emails to our company every morning, I guess just Monday through Friday, just with some thoughts. It's usually a personal story and then a scripture and then like a scriptural basis for what you're talking about. You've been doing that for years.
About 6.
How did that start? What was day one like?
Very unintentional. I actually started back in 2019. In 2019, we had started really growing the organization. We brought in branches up on the West Coast and all across, and we felt this groundswell of growth going. And I started to lose the ability to walk into any office in the country and know everybody by name. One of the things I really tried to do as I grew as a leader was know who people were, know about them, know their names, and as an organization grows, it's harder to do that.
Yeah.
So I started writing to them. So I was like, all right, if I can't know everybody, I at least want everybody to know me. And I was responsible for establishing culture and maintaining the culture that we had built over the years.
Yeah.
So I just started writing thoughts a couple of times a week back in 2019.
Was it an early morning thing back then?
Yeah, most of the time. And then COVID hit. And I found myself sitting in that conference room next door all by myself every day because I couldn't work from home. And so I'd come in. And I realized I need to step up connection. My mornings start early. I've always been an early morning guy.
I call it the middle of the night.
It's the same thing every single day. I get up and I read, I write, I journal every day. I pray, and I exercise. And so I added not just journaling to my morning routine, but writing messages to the company. And then that grew from the company to a broader audience of friends, and that grew from the company and a broader audience of friends to a fairly sizable database that I try to communicate with Monday through Friday every day.
How many people are you communicating with?
Well, if you just consider the emails that go out, you're around 10,000 a week. And then you got all your other social platforms that I think it's all out on.
Sure. Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I just figured, why not share what's going on in my life? Why not share what's going on in the business? Why not filter that through the lens of the Bible in a way that other people might not be thinking about? And why not use that as an opportunity to share about God, share about Christ, share about business, share how it's all intertwined with life.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing the last 6 years.
Yeah. Certainly a big part of our culture is being faith-based. Have you found that at times being challenging, or, I mean, a lot of people may not be Christians.
Yeah.
You're just kind of sharing your perspective.
Yes and no, right? So I recognize right up front, not everybody believes what I believe. Not everybody believes in God. Not everybody believes in Christ. Not everybody's a Christian. We've got all kinds of religious beliefs and non-believers of anything at this company. And in my sphere of influence and in my friend groups and in my family. So I know not everybody believes what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Because there's a verse in the Bible that says, do not be ashamed of the gospel. And there's another verse that says, we were not given a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of sound mind.
Yeah.
And if I combine those two verses together, why should I be afraid to help others through the lens of my belief? And whether they believe what I believe or not, if I can share something that is encouraging and hopeful and helpful to them, why wouldn't I do that? And if the byproduct is getting their curiosity on the gospel, on Christ, on God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's not my intent, is not to evangelize. My intent is to help and love people and give them hope through the source that gives me hope and love.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think it's extremely impressive that you do this every day. That you come up. Now, I don't know. Maybe you kind of batch things.
I
Maybe
don't.
behind the scenes. So, how do you come up with a new story, a new scripture every day? Like, do you just write things down as
It's
you
part
go,
of my
or
process.
yeah,
All right. So
yeah? Take us
I,
behind the scenes.
all right. I do on my phone. I use the Notes app.
Mm-hmm.
As I go through the day, if I hear something that I want to remember, I'll put it in that Notes app.
Mm.
Because this might be something I could write about. Somebody said something interesting. Let me put it down. This is a good topic. This is a quote. Whatever. I'll write those in my Notes app. But and I'll go back to those if I don't think of something organically that morning.
Mm.
So I get up, and as I get up, like most of us, we have things that are swirling around in our heads. Problems we're dealing with, things we're excited about, life in general, business stuff, you name it.
Yeah.
Those things are in there while I'm reading. And so while I'm reading, my reading process, I have 5 or 6 different daily devotionals that I read. I rotate which ones they are every year.
Mm-hmm.
I read through the Bible very, very specifically. I read a little bit of the Old Testament. I read a little bit in Psalms. I read a few Proverbs, and I read a little bit in the New Testament. I go through that every day. So by the time I've read all of the devotional books and I've read the Bible through that way, something will generally come to me. I'll read a verse, and it's like, oh my gosh, that fits perfectly with the
Mm.
situation I was dealing with yesterday.
It feels like the scripture coming
And it
alive.
just comes out. And so most of the time, that's where ideas come from. They just come to me while I'm reading. Sometimes I don't have anything. And
What
I'll
do you do?
pray.
What do you do then?
All right, so then I go through and I look up, I go to perplexity and I say, hey, what happened this day in history?
Mm.
And I see if there's a historical event or figure that I tend to like, and I'll research it. And then as I'm researching it, I'll find a verse that relates to whatever the lesson or the story or thing that was going on there. Like Booker T. Washington,
Yeah.
he's written a couple of books. Up From Slavery is one of the books that he's written that I love. I've read it several times. Every couple of years, I'll reread it. As I'm reading through that book, I'll read something that he said or did, and I'll highlight it, and I'll bookmark it, and I'll put it next to my bed because I know the next morning I want to write about that.
Yeah.
And so all these different sources of influence will go into what I'm writing. I start with, though, what's going on in my life and business that I'm either struggling with, I'm dealing with, a hard decision I'm making, and or something going on that I know in somebody else's life that I can write about that might be helpful.
Yeah. How do you? I am sure even when you get up at the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, or
Yeah.
whatever time it is, that your phone's already blowing up. I mean, there's so much on a daily basis when you're running a mortgage company that can steal your peace, steal your mind. Is it just a discipline to set those things aside, take a
Yeah.
deep breath, and
I protect my mornings. I try not to take any phone calls until after 8 o'clock. I will also, though, while I'm sitting there reading, if I have a bunch of stuff on my mind business-wise and I need to clear the mechanism a little bit,
mm-hmm.
I'll put the book down and I'll open up my phone and I'll fire off a number of emails or text messages and get those out of
Get
my
it.
head
Mm-hmm.
so then I can focus on what I'm reading. And there's times I have to say, Lord, help clear this out. Help me hear what you're trying to tell me because I'm distracted.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, what would be your hope for someone who's reading this book? What would be their takeaway? What would be their experience?
My hope is is that word. That's why I named it hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hope in the grind. Every one of us is grinding through life in our own version. Your issues are real. My issues are real. They're different.
Yeah.
But we still have to get up every day, put on our pants, put on our boots, go out into the field and go to work.
Yeah.
That's a grind sometimes. But it's great and it's good and it can be rich and it can be awesome. That said, it's also really hard.
Mm.
And we have to find reasons for hope throughout it. And
What's your reason for hope?
my reason for hope is I know how the story ends. And And quite honestly, that's an easy way to answer it. But let me just say it right now. Like, in today's world, our business is tough,
Really tough.
really hard. We're in a hard business. I've worked hard that if all went to hell in a handbasket tomorrow, Susan and me and our family, we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's great hope in that, right? I don't operate every day out of fear of what I can't control. If something negative happens, I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to be okay. I find great hope in that. That's
Yeah.
where a lot of my hope comes from.
Yeah.
But, as far as this book, I hope it touches people. I hope it helps people. I hope in many ways it helps folks realize that they're not alone in the crap they're dealing with. I try to talk about real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a train wreck in a lot of my life behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That should come out.
Yeah. I mean, I think as your friend from the outside, you seem very superhuman. You work out constantly, you run a company, you write a book. It's like, man, Matt is like the total package. Like he's got it all together. It kind of feels that way sometimes. So I do appreciate it when you kind of
And I
pull
wake up,
things back.
and I think, holy cow, I'm over my head on some things.
Mm.
And I go through the day thinking, I screwed that up. And I look back at all of the mistakes and the facts that my even just within my own family and think, wow, what a loser. You could have, like, you really screwed that up.
Yeah.
And so I just think the reality of life is that we all got serious issues beneath the surface. And quite frankly, once I got comfortable showing the world that those issues are real for me, my relationships deepened, my connections deepened, my friendships grew, my ability to lead got better. All of those things, I heard a friend of ours, Roger Whiteman, out in Arizona now,
Mm-hmm.
one of our great home loan specialists. He said to me one time, never trust a leader without a limp.
Mm.
Because if you're pretending all day long, you're not authentic.
Yeah. Well, look at the Bible. I mean, there are no there are some scoundrels. There are no perfect disciples, apostles, prophets.
You and me are choir boys compared to 99% of the characters in the Bible
Yeah.
that God used to do amazing things.
Yeah, none bigger than King David. Oh my gosh, the crap he pulled, and yet he's still a man after God's
Gotta
own
love
heart.
him.
And so I think God uses broken people for
Yeah.
sure. All right, final thing. Tell me about Louie. My favorite stories that you write about are always about your dog Louie. And I think Louie is something that everybody looks forward to hearing about.
Well, most people don't know this, but Louie is the single reason that I married Susan. When I met my wife and I first came to her house, I met Louie.
Mm.
And I looked at this beautiful dog and I thought to myself, if he doesn't love me, I got no chance at any of them.
Mm.
And so I committed right up front that this dog and I are going to be best friends. And it took all of about a week. And he and I just connected. We'd go on runs together, walks together. We spend all of our time together. And he just became a great part of my life.
Yeah.
And like most people and their dogs, they become connected. They become family. They become like children.
Mm-hmm.
And Louie was that. And he passed away a month or two ago, and we still miss him dearly.
Mm.
But I'm just really grateful for him
Yeah.
because he just had a way of being scandalous and dirty and nasty and disobedient and awesome. And he made us laugh, and he made us feel awesome when we were around him.
Yeah. Thank God
He's
for
a
dogs.
total brat, right? Thank God for dogs.
What's a lesson that he taught you?
You don't get what you don't ask for,
Mm.
right? Louis wanted something, he was going to ask for it.
Persistently,
And he was going to ask for it, and he was going to ask for it, and he was going to ask for it. And he wasn't going to quit until he got it.
Yeah.
And so you don't get what you don't ask for. I think too often in life we forget that. Too often in life we don't want to be offensive, or we don't want to be obnoxious, or we don't want to be too persistent. But quite frankly, and we don't want to ask a question that we believe the answer might be no.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know. Go ask the question.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times when there's been nothing on Open Table or Resi for a place to eat, and I'm like, well, let's just go in and see if they can find us a seat. And Ella, our daughter, would be like, oh, not again. And I go in and ask, and sure enough, sure, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
Or a refund or a thing or this or that. Sure, they're going to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
But guess what? Sometimes they're going to say yes.
They might say yes. Opening. We talk about in our work opening possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, just always seeing what's possible. Where our dog Bo, he loves to come with a ball and just start nudging us, and you know, he wants me to go throw a ball with him. You know, and he will not quit until you're like, okay, I'm going to go throw a ball with you. That is the most important thing in the moment. Well,
Keeps you moving too.
keeps you moving for sure. Cool deal. Well, it's great to hang out with you a little bit and hear about your book. If you looking for a great and this is a devotional book,
It's 90-day devotional.
90 days. So if you're looking to add this to your stack of devotional books and kind of dip in and out of it, that's the wonderful thing about devotional books is that you can open it up anywhere,
Yep.
read a chapter.
You don't have to commit to 500 pages over the course of several months. Commit to a day.
Yeah.
And it's just one day at a time, and I think that's the
how
best way to live life.
How habits are formed. So, all right. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Joshua.